Do you feel like you've been swatting, zapping, or even spraying a few more flies than usual this summer? You're not alone. And the bad news is it could be about to get worse as pest controllers warn of a bug invasion.
So the phones have been ringing. A lot of our pest controllers have been reporting that they've had a huge amount of interest, particularly with flies and, as I say, other insects. And so that's just within the industry, but also people are looking for advice on how to control flies. And it's not just a pest controller, there's a whole bunch of things that people can do to reduce their fly problems. Definitely seems to be a huge number of flies around just from that moisture and then just the breeding conditions. They've responded so quickly, so you can go from no flies to having them coming out of your eyeballs within 2 weeks. So that's how it goes. And it's the same for mosquitoes as well. A lot of standing moisture. 2 weeks later, you've got huge numbers of mosquitoes.
The warm, damp weather that's recently hit the country, accompanied by this week's downpour from ex-tropical cyclone hail, has created the perfect breeding conditions for some of our most hated insects like flies, mosquitoes and even ants. Maggots in particular like moist organic material, and flies thrive in warm conditions due to being cold-blooded.
So when it's warm and damp, they're breeding, their babies are multiplying, and they do very, very well. And of course they can respond quite quickly. Their life cycle is around about a week or so, or maybe a little bit longer. And so you can imagine within a week you've got large numbers, then 2 weeks later just exponential growth.
Pest controllers, meanwhile, have been working around the clock to help combat the issue, but there are a range of things people can do themselves. Fly spray helps, but can be limiting, with integrated pest management recommended as the best approach.
Well, your first port of call is to try and keep insects and flies out of your home to start with. Now, flies and mosquitoes, they don't like moving air, so plain old ceiling fans and pedestal fans are a very good method of just pushing the flies out of the room, particularly at night. Put a ceiling fan or a pedestal fan in your bedroom, and that just pushes the mosquitoes around. They're less likely to find you and bite you. The next thing is just kind of general hygiene. So just cleaning up, so making sure that your rubbish is cleaned up and your kitchen's clean and things like that. And that'll just stop insects from wanting to come in. It reduces that attractiveness and the smells and things like that. So if you've got smelly rubbish, the flies are going to be attracted to that. And then they're inside your house and they're just going to keep buzzing around and annoying you. And the next step after that is outside the house. So the same kind of principle of hygiene, removing any dog feces, making sure your compost bin is clean and tidy and away from the house, and just anything else that's going to produce a smell that might attract flies in.
Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel to stay up to date with all the latest news from the New Zealand Herald. Click the subscribe button below or check out one of the videos here, and head over to nzherald.co.nz for more details on these stories and more.